Hi and welcome to Akatom Chronicles. My name is Faith and this is my husband. Let him introduce himself.
Hi, welcome to Akatom Chronicles. My name is Anthony.
And we both work from home, and we've been running a business for quite a while, actually 9 years. And we've learned a few things down the line, and we just want to share our experiences, our thoughts, and ideas on how you can be, on how to work from home, how to be more productive and stuff like that, and as well making money online. So in this video, we are going to talk about how to get more stuff done when working from home. You know, with the pandemic happening, when more people are working from home, when more people are considering working from home. And so sometimes it can be challenging when you're used to an office environment or when you need to work from home and it's something new. And sometimes you can find yourself not getting things done. Yeah, it happens. So we're going to just share a few tips on how you can ensure that you get the most work done. So one of the most important tips I can tell you is have a dedicated workspace. Wherever this will be, whether it's in your bedroom, a certain corner, whether it's in the living room, a certain corner, if you can afford it, setting aside a room and setting it up as your office. Basically, just find a workspace. Now, this is very important because just when you have a dedicated workspace, every time you sit down, it just puts you in work mode, like automatically. You just get into work mode, you're excited, just sitting down, it puts you in work mode, and this is what you're looking for. If you just sit and say, oh, I'll sit at the couch and work, yes, you can, but the temptation is likely to be, let me watch some Netflix, or if I'm on my bed, let me lie down a little bit. So you get comfortable and you do not get as much done. So if you can, if it's possible, just set aside a dedicated workspace just for work, and it does amazing to your productivity. I don't know if you have anything more to say.
Just to add on that, I think just having a dedicated workspace will help you if you have children, for example, and they're still in that they're still young, they don't understand much. It will help you also to start getting to your children, for example, to start understanding mommy or daddy is working. Whenever you sit that in your spot, they'll just know. That is where mommy goes and or daddy sits to work, and over time they'll just respect that. They'll just easily just get into the just habit of just respecting that. They'll not be all over you unless maybe 1 year or 2 years maybe, but by the time they are maybe 4 years or so, they'll just just understand that is mommy's working space or daddy's working space, and that they'll respect that.
Tip number 2 that can enable you to get more stuff done when you work from home is determine when are you most productive. I'm sure we all have a time when you're most productive. Some of us are productive very early in the morning, others are very productive in the evenings, others are very productive in the night, or even in the wee hours of the morning. We each have our own productive time. So just take some time and just figure out when am I most productive. If you're not an early person, a morning person, don't force yourself to wake up and you're just cussing and just angry that why did I even wake up? You know, find if you're an evening person, if you're a night person, do what works for you. Yeah, instead of trying to, I know we are always told, wake up early, and that's all good and nice, and I will still tell you to wake up early if you can, but just do what works for you. When are you most productive? Is it in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evenings? Then set that to be your main work time, depending on when you're most productive. Yeah.
Yes, and just to add to that, for example, I find myself being most productive during early morning hours, and for example, waking up maybe at 5 a.m. and working maybe to 7 a.m. for example. We run an online writing business, and waking up at that time to do stuff, to maybe edit projects. I find myself getting so much more done than probably I can get done in between 8 and maybe 1 p.m. The amount of work I can do maybe in between 5 and 7 a.m. is just humongous. So at least for me, I found that waking up early works best. You are most productive, you are less distracted, you are more energetic, your willpower is high, and basically you will not wake up that early to check on social media, for example.
Yes, so that comes to my third point. Another tip on how to get more stuff done. Waking up early, starting your day early. And especially if you have kids, sometimes, and you're working from home, sometimes when they wake up, they're all over mommy and daddy, and it's hard to get stuff done, yeah? So if you can get an hour or two earlier before they wake up, you can do so much more, so that by the time they're waking up, if you don't feel like, they want your attention, but you feel like you need to work, and you get grumpy because they want to spend some time with mommy and daddy, and you feel like, I've not started any work, it's 9 a.m., I've still not done anything. So if you can get an hour or two very early in the morning, get some things done, so that by the time, if you have kids, they're waking up, you've done something, you feel like you've started your day, so you're fairly in a good mood. You can spend some time with them. You don't feel angry that they're just interrupting my day, my work day. So I think that really helps. So the third tip is organizing your work in such a way that you break your work. Basically what I mean is, instead of working for like 1 hour, 2 hours, long stretches of work, which can get sometimes tiring and boredom can kick in, and then that can distract you. A good way of going about it is working in short bursts. So for example, you can decide to say, I'll be working for 30 minutes and take a 10-minute break, or I can work for 25 minutes and take a 5-minute break, or I can work for 40 minutes and take a 10-minute break. Basically, the idea is just to break up your work so that you don't feel like I have to do all this work for 1 hour, 2 hours, and you feel like, no, this is too much work. And then when you feel like that, it gets to a point where you decide, let me just take a break, and then you just take a long break, of which you could have avoided that and ensured you did something by breaking your work by working in short bursts. Also, that enables you to know, I'm concentrating for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, doesn't feel like a lot of time, then I take a break. Even, let's say, you can decide, even say, I'll work for 10 minutes, doesn't seem like a lot of work. This is especially important if you're struggling with procrastination, you find yourself procrastinating. Just tell yourself, I'll just dedicate 10 minutes. And most of the time, after the 10 minutes, either you're so engrossed in the work, or okay, I dedicate another 10 minutes. So that's a great way that's a great tip that you can use to be more productive. Yeah.
So that technique is it's called the Pomodoro technique.
Yeah.
And ideally, it will definitely help you to get more productive, in the sense that when you know you have a dedicated time for work and a dedicated time for doing other things, you can think of it as the time when you procrastinate. Only that in this case, you are planning for that time, instead of just winging it and assuming things will just fall in place. You just plan for it. If you say maybe you work for maybe 1 hour, for example, and you dedicate maybe 15 minutes to procrastinate, you will subconsciously you will know that, for example, you might not pick calls, for example, during that time. You might not hold your phone. You might just not feel the need to check on social media, or maybe aimless searching on the internet, for example, because the time is coming when you'll do that. So just it will help you to procrastinate the way you procrastinate. So definitely just trying to having just a dedicated time for working and a dedicated time for other things will definitely improve the way your level of focus, which ultimately will improve your productivity.
Yeah.
And the next point is the point number 4 is closely related to the same, because it's really about tracking your time. You cannot improve what you do not know what you don't track. If, for example, you just wing it, if for example, maybe you wake up one morning and you just decide, I'll just wing it, you might find yourself spending a lot of time on maybe social media, or just aimless surfing of the internet, for example, reading blog posts, checking the latest celebrity gossip and stuff like that. If you let yourself just do that, you will never know just how much time you actually work and how much time you actually spend actually working. And that is where the need to track exactly how much time you spend on whatever it is you do. If it's working online, and spending time, you spend time on the computer for extended periods, for example, tracking how much time you spend on the computer, whatever it is, what it is that you do during that time that you're actually actively working. The best way, while you can write down things maybe on a notebook or a sticky note, the best approach, at least for me, that I found that is effective is using productivity tools. For example, you can track how much time you spend on maybe YouTube, on basically everything. Yeah. Everything you spend on doing online, you can track it, so that you can at least ultimately tell how much time have I spent today, for example, on whatever activity I was being doing. There was a time some maybe a few years ago, I tracked the time I spent, and in a span of 2 weeks, you find yourself having like 32 hours of watch time on YouTube. Yeah. That's an entire day, for example, spent just watching YouTube.
1.5 days.
So if you track your time, you will know where the time sinks are. And the best, at least for me, the best tracking tools that I found is I've used Toggle. It's a time tracking app where that enables you to track just how much time you spend on almost everything you do online. But so you simply just install the program on your PC. I think there's a desktop client and a browser extension, for example. So when it is able to track how much time you spend on the different browsers, basically everything you do. There's also other. I'll leave a link on of the different tools that of these time tracking tools. You can also use another one that I've used, though not much. Hourstack and Harvest. They do just the same thing, but at least I have experience with the Toggle one. TOGGL. It is very helpful to just give you a glimpse of just how much time you're spending. You can use the same. You can also search if the time you spend the most doing other things is on your phone. You can use the same tracking tools. You can search for an app to track just how much time you spend on the different apps. It will help you know whether you spend a lot of time on maybe a certain app. Then you can start reducing how much that time, at least to manageable or even acceptable levels. Then once you've known, once you have an idea of just how much time you spend, and you feel that time is embarrassing to even talk about, then you can maybe you can install tools, apps for blocking this time, for blocking the websites. For example, I've used different tools. I've tried everything, because productivity does not come just naturally for everybody. Sometimes you'll have bursts of time when you are very productive. Another time you'll just find yourself spending half a day just winging it. And yeah. I've used a Google Chrome extension called StayFocusd. I've used a Mozilla Firefox plugin called LeashBlock, and I've used a desktop client called Rescue Time. I've used it, and for me the good thing about all of them are good, But at least one of the thing, the one at least I can vouch for is rescue time, because it's a desktop client. You will not need to worry whether you cannot game it. It will track every single thing you do on a desk on a computer. For the others, you can simply switch browsers, and you can just go around it. So rescue time, because it's a desktop client, you can look for other tools for it, and probably just get maybe at least for the desktop clients, they are the best because they track everything. You cannot game them. Some of them are even designed in a way that you cannot just uninstall them. So they will help you to track how much time you actually spend, which will, if you are serious about it, will definitely want to. You will not want to be seeing how much you spend. You spend like 25 hours maybe in a week, or maybe 2 weeks. Just thinking about it, it just makes you scared. You spend an entire day doing that. So for me, that those things those have been very instrumental. I sometimes I don't actively use them, but whenever I noticed myself going overboard with everything, with being focused, just not being focused, I try to use them so that at least I can start putting brakes on how much time I spend just doing non-work related stuff.
Yeah. So the other thing, the other tip, probably I think it's tip number 5, is just setting aside time every, either weekly or if you have time daily, to just self-evaluate and figure and just evaluate, like, how has this week been? How has my day been? What have I done? What can I improve? Like, the way you call yourself to a meeting, yeah? You have a meeting with yourself and tell yourself, evaluate how has been my day, what can I do better? The self-evaluations really help in enabling you to if there are any what do I call it? If you feel like there are places that you can improve, when you're consistently evaluating yourself, you can do those improvements very fast, But if you don't self-evaluate and take some time to figure out where are the changes I can make, you will not make any progress. So find time and evaluate yourself. This is what I had planned to do. Did I do it? Why didn't I do it? What can I change? I wake up at this time in the morning. It's not working for me. What can I change? What can I do? Maybe I should wake up this time. Basically, the idea is just to keep winging. We're always winging it. Life is always changing, and the dynamics of life keep changing. So it's important just to be consistently evaluating your dynamics. Have they changed? I might think I need to try this. This is not working for me right now, and such things, they will really be of help in boosting your productivity, so that when you discover there's something not right, something is not working somewhere, you can make the necessary changes ASAP, as soon as possible. You make those changes, and you work to improve yourself each and every day. Yeah, I don't know if you have anything to add.
I think you just explained it. You explained everything. I can move to the next tip. Tip number 6, creating boundaries.
Yeah.
And if you work from home and your friends, relatives, and neighbors know that you work from home, there is that until you put the boundaries, there is that assumption that you are available. You will find neighbors knocking, depending on where you live and how social you are. You will find neighbors, friends, relatives just either calling you whenever on working hours. They're showing up unannounced and expecting just a chatter. So if you don't have boundaries, you are likely to have quite a number of those. And those interruptions definitely they add up. Because 1 hour here, 1 hour there, a call here that lasts, a Zoom call or a WhatsApp call that lasts maybe an hour, another person, and all that, even an extended chat, maybe conversation. Those are things that definitely make it harder to stay focused, because you can't really focus on something or you can't serve two masters. If you're focused, you have to be focused. So just think of yourself in the same way. For example, you think of somebody. If you are to work, for example, in a corporate job, you will not be expecting anybody to show up at your workplace just unannounced, and they expect some 1 hour of chatting without just like that. It cannot happen.
not happen.
While there is that flexibility of working from home, it does not mean that working from home is not work. It is work, and if you respect it, other people will respect it also. The last one is about rest, and basically, if you rest enough, you'll have enough energy to keep going. That's why most people, at least most people, are more productive in the morning hours, because we are well rested. At least you are not tired. You are not sleepy. Your willpower is high. So if you rest enough, just spend time to get rest, not just for the night, but overall, for maybe after working for a few days, take a break, and take a break to rejuvenate, to reflect, to remember why you are doing whatever it is you are doing. Just to reflect on whatever it is you are doing. Why are you doing it? That will definitely help you to stay on track. Whenever you sit down and actually start working, you'll get more done than just grinding all the time and just hoping that the harder you work, the better the more work you get done, when you might not necessarily be as productive.
If you have enjoyed the content we've shared so far, kindly like the video, subscribe to our channel. We'll have more and plenty of such videos. If you have other things that other tips that have helped you to be more productive, ensure to share in the comment section. Yeah,
of course, we cannot have exhausted everything.
yeah,
We all have our styles of doing things. We shared our style.
yeah.
Maybe perhaps you can share your style, and let's keep talking.
Yes.
See you in the next video.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.